Hello everyone, welcome to our second community corner. I'm Shikar, community manager, and with me today is Backlash1337 or Ben from the mechanics team.
Hey there, guys.
So yeah, we got some stuff for you, or more like questions from you. So we're gonna start with just some other things first before we come to the community questions. So one thing we want to show you again is that we have our Trello page set up. So we call it roadmap, but it's not really a roadmap. It's just a thing where you have insight to all the stuff that we have released so far. So there's much stuff to find, like concept art and progress from the 3D models. So if you're on some parts, when you click on it, you have some more pictures with it, so you can really explore this stuff. So yeah, that's our Trello. You can find the link in the description for that. Yeah, so let's move on. So one of the concerns we heard just recently is that there was so much work on the Prime Beast alone in our streams, and yeah, people wanted to see something different. We already had a poll on the public Discord, so you people decided that you want to see some work on Theo again. So I think that should be sorted by now. We had our first Theo stream again 2 days ago. So yeah, you have something to watch on that. Yeah, additionally to that, we had one complaint about, or in the last state of the game, about the map being too bright after we changed to the Quixel assets. But let me assure you, it's not because of the assets. It was just kind of a mistake from us, because we had a problem with the that the sky sphere's clouds were not properly saved into our source control, so the overall lighting was not right. But yeah, that made the map look super bright, and yeah, just at this point of development, lighting is the very least of our concerns to actually spend time on. So we'll worry about having pretty lighting once we have established the gameplay and level design. So you can see, you will see some changes on that. Yeah, so let's get to the community questions. Some of the questions are really mechanics heavy, so that's why I have Ben with me today. So yeah, let's start with the first one. And that is a kind of general question. So when can we expect some more information from the mechanics team?
Yeah, currently I hear that a lot of people asking, when can we expect more information? Mechanics, we have design and everything, but we have nothing about mechanics. The main reason for that is that we would like to test our mechanics before. They're obviously already there. We have them on paper and everything, and we just would like to test them in the very first iteration, so we can so we gain the test data and can see how those mechanics perform in the actual game, and then also back it up. So currently there won't be too much information about mechanics. I can tell you a bit of stuff here and there, but I think the big updates will come once we get into testing and we see our mechanics are working as we've planned it. So that's the point where you should look forward if you're one of the mechanic heavy fan guys.
Okay, good. So coming to the second questions is a kind of a question in the direction of Paragon, because it was asked, what features from Paragon do you wish to use in your game? For example, the OP dunk.
So we're taking insight from all different MOBAs. from Paragon, obviously, especially the 3D environment, the 3D gameplay. Um, if it comes to special mechanics, it's not gonna be a remake of Legacy or Monolith. Um, it's gonna be its own game with its own mechanics. Um, we will actually have dunking as a mechanic, but how that works especially, how that works exactly, and if it's even correlated to the prime, I can't tell you about it now. Um, another point that probably is for the guys that play Legacy is that the immersion that the jungle had, and we'll try to get this back. The feeling that the jungle really sucks you in, um, and then the lanes which are more of an open area. Um, so from Paragon, mostly the 3D environment is gonna be it. There's not gonna be a remake of any special mechanics that Paragon had that we will have.
Okay. Great. So now is a big question that we get asked really a lot, and that is, yeah, what is your itemization system?
Yeah, the items. I still can't. So obviously we have set it up now, the basis, and we would like to test it in game, like I said earlier. I can give you a few key points, but I can't give you the full itemization process yet. We're gonna have an open item shop, so you can access any item at any point in the game. There's not gonna be, so you don't have to choose like a specific affinity, like Paragon had it, which doesn't mean that there are no things that kind of resemble affinities in another way. We're gonna have the usual currency, which is in most other MOBAs just gold. There's not gonna be something like card points, like Legacy had it. But our item system is gonna be something new. You might find some nods to Paragon in it, but it will be its own system. It will definitely not work exactly like how Paragon's items work, and it will not be just another item system like from the big MOBAs like Dota or League of Legends. So we introduced our own unique things there. And for the items overall, we're gonna focus a lot on the actives and passives of the cards to enhance the gameplay. So, yeah, the items. I read that a lot, and I wish I could give you the full detail about how everything works, but I'm sorry I can't. I can't give it to you yet. We'll see soon there.
Yeah, but I think many people will be happy to hear that it's an open item shop. So, hey, that's a step forward. Yeah, having that out of the way, next question is, what do you think the game philosophy of balance and character creation leans more toward? Is it going to be more like League of Legends or more like Dota 2 or other MOBAs?
So, overall, it's gonna be its own game, and it's hard with a question like that. It's kind of hard to say, is it gonna be like Dota or is it gonna be like League? Because it's gonna be its own game, with its own mechanics. Obviously, we took a look at every other MOBA and their mechanics, but I wouldn't really say it leans to either one. It's just more of a new experience, that you will feel when playing, and then you can decide on your own. Is it? Oh yeah, it exactly feels like Dota or League of Legends. Although I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Okay. So coming to question number 5. Well, it's kind of like the second question with the Paragon dump, OP dunk. So yeah, what features are you going to use from other MOBAs? What features have you been interested in and eyeing for possible additions?
So we look at the pros and cons of all mechanics across the MOBAs. So I could give you a good example about it. Usually the process goes like, we look at a mechanic. Obviously, often we hear people complaining about a certain mechanic of Monolith, for example. And then we look at the other MOBAs. Do they struggle the same issue, or is it not an issue in that MOBA? And if it's not, what's the cause of that? And for example, a good example is here the towers and monolith were a big issue, and the tower dancing.
Yeah.
And if you take a look at other MOBAs, it's not a problem there at all with tower dancing as heavy as it was on Paragon. And the issue there was that the towers had those lasers that would never shoot out of the range of the tower. I can say you that on our mechanics we will have towers with projectiles. So once you walk into the range and you get triggered by the tower, and the projectile shoots, it will follow you even if you step outside the tower range. And this is a good example where we try to fix, like an issue that only Paragon had, because it's not present in Smite or Dota League. So that was pretty clear there that we have to fix this one.
Okay, wonderful to hear. So the next question is, there are many of you guys working on the project. Why is Lee, or Almighty Gur, the only one who streams? And why is his work the only work shown to public on the YouTube channel, as an example? So what I want to say about that is, yes, at the moment, Lee is kind of the only one who's streaming his progress, but the thing on that is that it's his own decision, and we don't want to force our people to stream while they are working, because some people might not be comfortable with it, or might just don't want their work to be streamed. But we have some people who are interested in it, interested to doing it. We had our first rigging stream a few days ago. I think it was on Tuesday. That was kind of like a test for that, but I think there's more coming on that department. Also, we'd really like to stream more concept art in that regard, but we had one stream on that in the beginning when we started streaming our work, but as of right now, Golden Week is the only person who wants to stream right now, but he has technical issues. So yeah, so you might expect, or more like you can expect to be more stuff coming soonish, I guess. But yeah, it's not like we don't want to show you guys the stuff. It's just we don't want to force people to do it.
Also, I think there was some people that were struggling with bandwidth problems, so they would have liked to stream their content actually, but they just don't have like the resources to do it. And then from our department especially, it's just we do a lot of working on Excel, tweaking numbers and stuff like that. So for example, the economy is like a huge Excel sheet detailing how much currency you're probably gonna have at different timings, and this is really, I don't think this is like great streaming content here. And then the same probably goes for the coding, where it's just work that has to be done. And Almighty Gear with his, he does an exceptional job with streaming his art. Yeah, so this is also something that can be streamed well, and from the mechanics and programming section, it's really not that great streamable content overall, because it's not such a good visual thing you can watch really.
Yeah, so it has to be appealing for watchers as well, for viewers. Yeah, so with that we're coming to another mechanics question, and that is regarding microtransactions. So I would love to know how the transactions of a game will work. How will a player be able to buy skins? Will every skin be able to obtain through in-game currency, and will there be any microtransactions?
So there will definitely be microtransactions. just a way to finance our game, and have like a constant source of income. There will not be, however, a pay to win. There will not be anything locked between behind a paywall that like is really important for the gameplay. So you will be able to get everything. Um, in terms of skins, you know, it's always kind of hard. Um, we have detailed how the in-game currency works, and um, we'll just have to see. Obviously, we want to give the player the satisfaction of unlocking certain skins, but if every skin is available through in-game currency, um, we'll have to see. It's just a thing of like finance our game as well, and
Yeah.
then obviously you will still have lots of things to unlock. Yeah.
Well, I think that was kind of what the people expected out of that, so yeah. The next question is regarding the map, and please bear with me, I have to read that off a bit from Oswald, who gave me the answer to that, because I'm not that big into that stuff. So yeah, having noticed the symmetric layout of the latest public map, I was curious if it was for more than just balance, but for flexibility of the team formations over the lanes. If so, is or are there other things you can share about how the game will be made, on how well you can switch up the formation, or how obscured your team can be when covering / not covering all the roles? In brackets to that, how unique can we strategize our team to be? So yeah, the map is to be built symmetrical for these reasons that I pointed out. You as a player should have the ability to use anyone anywhere. So we do have masters with roles / lanes in mind. However, it is ultimately up to you to find out where said masters works best. You can strategize your team as uniquely as you possibly can. You and your team are essentially the limit. Though remember that team compositions exist for a reason.
Yeah, but from our point of view, like especially what goes into the balancing, because that's what we mechanics do as well, is we try to give it as open as possible. So the strategy is really up to you. And a good example here is Smite, that heavily forces a meta in. They have their 5 like positions grouped into heroes. So you have a warrior. This is the guy that goes off lane, and you will see they kind of always have the same concept. It's always they have 1 or 2 dashes. They have a small stun. They have a great HP regen, or really tanky, or have a health skill. And if you look then at Paragon, like Sevarog and Shinbi were both offlaners, but their concept was fundamentally different. So we'll try to not force those metas and not say this hero you should play here. Obviously, when creating heroes or masters, they're always designed with like a main position in mind. So like if you design a carry, it's probably not going to work that great as a support, but from mechanics wise, we try to make it as possible as we can. So if you just find out this jungler actually works really great as a support, why not just do that? And also, eventually you might not even have a jungler. You would run a 2-1-2 lineup where you would have a support on both lanes, and this all goes into balancing for us. And we just want to make it as open as possible. And if you find something working, then just go for it.
Yeah. The limit is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next question is a map question as well. So are you ever going to consider giving us more than only one map? Not in terms of game modes, so just like another another look for a map. So yeah, I'm just getting bored so easily when the only thing I get is a single map on a third-person game, which lives from diversity even on map level. as this is no isometric MOBA in which the map doesn't matter. Well, the thing with that is, yeah, firstly, this hasn't been an idea that we have really actively talked about. So the main reason of that is because it's really so much work to do, even if it's just a reskin. And yeah, and practically having the practicality of having multiple maps, even if they have the same layout, seems like too much work for very little payoff. So as of now, there are no plans for a feature like this, but the idea of map skins is in itself is really cool. So maybe we might look into that in the future, but yeah, no promises here.
Yeah, from our perspective, on the mechanics team, we were already designing a few other game modes. But for the main map, you know, the 5v5, it's hard to just have different maps there, because it's also the map plays a big part in the balancing, and you know, having the times to kill have to be in accordance with the travel times, and has to go along with the uptime of spells. And if you're gonna have, like, just think about if we had Paragon, and you could just in the queue decide if you want to play Legacy or Monolith, but both would have been with the same balancing, you would have run into big issues. So our focus here is also just get a good balancing on this one main map. The idea of skins is nice, but having different layouts can actually cause like big issues with the balancing. So we'll try to get one map really good first before we look into others.
Yeah. Well, so next question is, you haven't been posting a lot and sharing a lot of art and models. So my question is, has the development slowed for a bit, or it's just about keeping the stuff for a bigger reveal than a post on Reddit? I personally really don't know why that thought has come up, because we're having like the same schedule since our first state of the game, with teaser releases every 2 weeks, or more like only teasers every 6 weeks now. We just have a 2-week cycle on stuff that happens. So let's say the cycle starts with a teaser. This kind of content always drops on a Saturday. So you have the teaser on a Saturday. 2 weeks later, there will be a community corner. 2 weeks after that, there will be a state of the game. So you kind of have a 6-week cycle for every part of that. So yeah, that's how we handled it, like kind of from the start. We're just in the difference to the beginning of that is that we had only teasers every 2 weeks. So we switched up the content a bit, and in between all of this, we have 3 streams every week as of now, and that might be that might get increased in the future if other people start streaming. So I don't really think we slowed down on content or slowed down on development, because we're making really great progress in my eyes, and we're heading forward.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then, yeah, for the mechanics, it's mostly gonna, if we get into testing and we see everything how we planned it works out, you're gonna probably get a lot of mechanics then. So yeah, it's gonna stay like that for a while now, with the mechanics being a bit more quiet, I think. But it will hopefully soon change then.
Yeah, I think we all look forward to that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now for the end, there are always the same questions coming up. These being, when's the release date? Are we having a console version? So regarding the release date, as of now, no, we don't have a release date. It might take 2 years. It might take 3 years. We don't know. We're going at our own pace. We're not setting deadlines for ourselves to not get the team into pressure to finish stuff on a deadline, so they can take on the tasks more relaxed. And additionally to that, every team member has his own life besides that, since this thing is still a free time project, at least as of now. So all the people have to deal with their jobs and with their families beside that. And the philosophy in our team is just real life always comes before this project. So if there's stuff happening with the family or with the job, that always goes first. So there might be some stuff that gets behind, but yeah, like I said, we have no deadlines. It's finished when it's finished.
Yeah.
So,
I think also, this is actually like a good opportunity for us, because you don't often see games being developed in the free time of people. Usually they work full time on it, and in those companies, deadlines are really important, because the economy team just they calculated how long a certain task has to go until they have to release it, so it's still economically viable, and we don't have that. So as everyone is working in their free time, we can really work on it until we have the feeling now it's great and we can release it, and we're not bound to any deadlines, because there is a huge company that has to look out for their economy as for the current state.
yeah. Okay. After that, like I said, the console questions. We get this asked over and over and over again. Like we upload our streams to YouTube, and in every comment section you have one or two guys asking, yeah, what about PS4? What about console in general? So the thing about that is, as of now, nothing is set in stone, but we try to realize a console version, but we can't promise it. One thing being is if we really can manage that, but I think that's not the main issue there, because we also have to get approved by, in terms of PS4,
Sony,
it has to be Sony. And for that, for example, we have to be a company first, a real company, and that also takes a while. So it's not solely up to us.
So from our perspective, though, we do have already worked on a controller layout in terms of movement and the items and everything. So when already designing like the item system and everything, we already do take the limitations of controllers into account, and we have set up a layout for them. So if that helps some of the controller fans, that's something we've got you covered there.
Yeah, but that being said, PC is still our main focus in the development. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, I think we've gone through all of the questions as of now. So yeah, if you have any more questions or stuff like that, or yeah, it's yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything more as of now. Yeah, if you have any more questions, please leave them here so we can answer them either directly under the video, or maybe keep them for the next community corner.
Oh, actually, I just remembered one of the questions. We still have time for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go
on. So a lot of people were issuing the problems Paragon had with crowd control, so CC. And that really is a problem. If we take a look at other MOBAs again, that we see that in Dota or League of Legends, crowd control is not that big of an issue, and neither was it on Legacy. And the main reasons why it was such a big problem on Monolith was not in the CC itself, that it's a bad mechanic. It was that the uptime of the spells was way too low. The travel times were very quick on the map, and the times to kill were super low. So in Monolith, when you got stunned for say 2 seconds, that would mean you're dead, because a carry could like 3-shot you or something in 3 seconds. So I don't think there's something we really have to deal with crowd control yet specifically, because we think that this issue was like a monolith specific issue, and wasn't a big problem on Legacy either. Rampage Stone stunned for like 3 or 4 seconds or something, and it didn't mean like you're 100% secure dead when you got stunned. So I don't think we have to deal with it that specifically yet, because a lot of a lot of those things were just by how Monolith was set up, and since our setup is going to be a bit different, we're eventually not going to even face those issues. If we see though in testing, obviously, that CC is going to be a big issue, then we will tackle it. But for now, there's no real reason to design mechanics specifically designed for this issue.
Okay, nice. So anything other you can think of right now?
I think that was it.
Okay, well, yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for answering your questions.
Thank you.
So
I'm really looking forward to it. We've got, whenever I go through the different servers where community posts questions,
yeah,
and it feels so devastating when someone asks for something and you have 100% definite answer to that issue, and how we deal with it from the mechanics perspective, and then you can't tell him how we work, how we work with it, how we deal with it. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you are too, because it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I definitely believe it will be great in the future. But yeah, well, we got 32 minutes of Community Corner again. So yeah, thank you guys for staying with us. Thank you for watching this, and
Thanks.
yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.
See ya.